G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very, very well this afternoon. I am really tired. I just got back from hockey, so it was a very fast-paced game, and I'm just looking to chill out just a little bit. So I thought I'll be doing a film review. Now, this film I've had for a while, and I've been wanting to do a review of it, but for numerous reasons I just couldn't do it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to finally review this. Now, this is a French film. It's a French thriller. It's not a horror film, but it's more of a thriller. It was made in 2005, directed by Gela Babliani, who is a Georgian immigrant who lives in France. And this is called 13 Zemeti. Now, there is a remake from the same director in Hollywood, and that title is just 13. But if you've seen that film and you want to know where that idea originated from, this is the French original. So it's in French language, so unless you can speak French, you're going to have to read some English subtitles, so I apologise for that if that's not your go. But if you don't mind a bit of reading and you're interested in foreign cinema, then hopefully this review will be interesting to you. So 13 Zemeti starts off with Sebastian, and he's a Georgian immigrant in France, and he is living with his family inside this very small home. And it's very obvious that they're not well off on money. They're struggling for money, and they're looking for any kind of work to make their ends meet. So Sebastian is the second eldest son, or the eldest son. Well, he's a young sort of adult, and he's a handyman. He does all these odd jobs around people's houses just to make a living, so he can provide food and shelter for his family. So he comes to this guy named Gordon, or Godon, or whatever, however you say it, Godon. And this guy's a drug addict, but he's very rich. And Sebastian is working on his house. He's repairing the roof. And things are going along fairly smoothly. It's a nothing job. Sebastian can hold his own very well, and he's doing the job well. And Godon is he's a drug addict, and he's very drug dependent. So he has a lot of money. And there's one day that Sebastian is working on the roof, and there's a hole in the roof, and you can see down in the living room where Gordon and this other mysterious guy are having a meeting. Now, the mysterious guy was the bad guy of Irreversible, so it's a very familiar face. So anyway, Gordon and, or I'll just call him Gordon. Gordon and this stranger are having a discussion about a very easy way to get money. Now, this way it's kind of Sebastian's thinking that it's this club, like betting, and it's a really easy way to get money. But Sebastian doesn't think anything of it because it's not his business, so he just goes on about his daily work. Anyway, one day Gordon dies of a drug overdose, and Sebastian comes across this envelope that is meant for Gordon. But since Gordon is dead, Sebastian decides to hide it for himself, and he opens up the envelope, and this is the quick money-making scheme. And he doesn't know exactly what it entails, but he knows that he has to travel to this country house. He's going to take the identity of Gordon. And inside the envelope, there's a number 13, and there's other documents stating that he has to go to this country house in the middle of nowhere, and there is this thing that happens that provides very quick and easy money. So this appears to be the solution to Sebastian's problem. So he ends up taking the directions that are meant for the deceased drug addict, and he comes to this country house, and this is where he realizes that the situation he is in, he is unable to get out of, and his life is in grave danger because these people who are in the betting sort of arena bet on human lives. So Sebastian is at a point of no return, therefore he has to go along with these games, and it pretty much his life is in the hands of Lady Luck. So he has to ride his luck to get out of here alive. So that's the storyline. That's as far as I'll go. Now, as I said, this is in subtitles, so if you're like me, you'll love your French cinema. That won't be a problem. And it's also in black and white. Now, don't let that put you off. It's not an old film. It was made in 2005, so it's kind of like Schindler's List. It's made to look old, but it's not. It's actually a very recent film. So I actually thought that the grey uh, tone to the film really suited it because it really created the mood that this film is really looking for, and that's a really downbeat sort of depressing sort of atmosphere and a very tense atmosphere at the same time. The acting was great. the lead actor, who was played by George Babliani, who is the brother of the director, he did a great job as Sebastian, and you could really sense the fear inside this guy when the tense situations come up. So he really nailed that part well. And as I said, the stranger who this drug addict is having a meeting with, he's the bad guy of Irreversible, Tapeworm. He's only in it for a very short time, so it's a cameo, but it's always good to see familiar French faces in films. And also, if you've seen the zombie film The Horde, I think it was Jimenez who gets shot at the start, the big guy with the grey beard. He's also in this. So some very familiar French actors if you're into French cinema. So it was really good to see. It's a high, I don't know if it was a super high budget, but it was high enough to get good actors in, and the acting really, really did well in this film. Now, I have to say, the tension in this film is second to none. I thought the tension was unbelievable in some scenes. Now, I'm not going to give anything away, but I will say that I never thought a light bulb would bring so much tension and suspense. Uh, Watch the movie and you'll find out what I mean by the light bulb. That's all you have to know, light bulb. So it is, they say on the back, it's like Fight Club but more satisfying. I don't know if it's more satisfying than Fight Club, but it is like Fight Club. It's kind of an exclusive club that no one knows about, that they go in, play with big money, and most, the scariest thing about it is that these people are willing to bet so much money on human life. So this film really does show you how cheap life is to some people and how they treat it as a game. And it also just shows people who are basically alive through luck. And that's all it is, just lady luck happens to be on your side, or you can be dead in the next minute. So it's a very, very, very tense movie, and I actually thought the ending was very satisfying. I wouldn't say it was a happy ending, but it was very satisfying. A little bit predictable in some parts, but no, it is a great film, and I would highly recommend it for any French cinema fan because this really does get the blood pumping. It'll have you biting your fingernails, and a lot about a lot of good things from this film. Sorry, I just lost my words for a minute there. The acting, the characters, the character of Sebastian, you actually care for him because there is a bit of background. He's a hard worker and he's willing to do anything for his family. He is going into this life-threatening situation for his family. He wants to provide a better living for them. So you really want him to come out unscathed. But then when he realizes just how much danger he is in, you can sense that he really regrets his decision and you start feeling really bad for him. And this is really a movie about getting yourself into deep water without knowing, and there's no way out. What can you do? You just got to go through with it, and not expecting what might happen as a consequence of your actions. So that's definitely what this movie is about. It is a very good movie. It's a thriller. It's not a French horror, but I'm going to put it in my French horror collection because there is a hell of a lot of tension in this one. So if you are a French cinema fan, a French horror fan, this one will definitely appeal to you because I loved it. And I haven't seen the remake. I won't even bother because, the original is the only movie you have to see. So look out for this one if you're a French horror fan. That is 13 Zemeti. It is a game about trying your luck and at very high stakes. So definitely recommended for all you guys out there who are into your foreign cinema. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you later. Bye.